shut it off. Alright. Okay. So, I don't know if the camera is light sensitive. I'm not sure. I hope it doesn't shut off again. Hello again. My name is Emma and welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. Okay. So I did not read my book this week. As a matter of fact, I haven't been reading lately, which I'm really I'm sorry to say. So I thought I would just talk a little bit. I don't know if you can see Agatha. Let me see if I can turn you around a little bit because she's right there. So what I thought I would do, I thought I would just come out here and sit down for a little bit and just be under the sun. I do have my little table here, my tray, my tea, and it is really warm out here today, guys. I mean, like, seriously, really, it's nice and warm. So I am drinking my true blueberry tea like I always do. And so just let me take a quick sip of this real quick. But I thought I would just come out here and just talk. And I did have a little bit of these little cookies that were a little bit festive. They're red and blue and white. The powder was just perfect for the holiday theme, and chocolate. So I'll be eating those in a few. Just wanted to come out here and just talk a little bit. I wanted to see what Emily Post had to say about entertaining. Xerxes, where are you? Oh, you're all the way over there. He's a smart one. He goes, I'm going in the shade. I don't know about you. When it comes to entertaining, but let me see. Room service, helping your host and hostess. Let me read this. Helping your hostess. I really would like to read a lot about that. So let me read about, because there's something I want to touch on. Let me read this. When advising her readers on how to be the perfect guest, Emily Post wrote in, this is in 1922, courtesy demands that you, when you are a guest, should show neither annoyance nor disappointment, no matter what happens. I don't have a watch out here, so I'm going to have to try to keep a timely head time on my head. No matter what happens, you learn, as it were, not to notice if hot soup is poured down your back, if you neither understand nor care for dogs or children, and both insist on climbing all over you. You must seemingly like it, just as you must be amiable and polite to your fellow guests, even though they be of all the people on earth the most detestable to you. Oh my God. It's like inviting your enemies over for dinner. Jesus. Okay. You must pretend that 6 is a perfect dinner hour, though you never dine before 8, or, on the contrary, you must wait until 8:30 or 9 with stoical fortitude. Through your dinner hour is 6, and by 7 your chest seems securely pinned to your spine. If you go for a drive and it pours and there is no top to the carriage or car, and you are soaked to the skin and chilled to the marrow so that your teeth chatter, your lips must smile, and you must appear to enjoy the refreshing coolness. Right. Okay, words of advice. Emily Post. For the hostess in 1922 included, if a guest prefers to sit on the veranda and read, don't interrupt him every half page to ask if he really does not want to do something else. If, on the other hand, a guest wants to exercise, don't do everything in your power to obstruct his starting off by saying that it will surely rain, or that it's too hot, or that you think it is senseless to spend the days that you should be a rest to him in utterly exhausting himself. Nothing has changed. The considerate guest is all that he or she was in the 1920s and more. Whether invited for an hour, for a cup of coffee, or for the weekend or longer, the considerate host or hostess has planned so carefully that she or he is relaxed and able to enjoy the company of his or her invited guests, while neither badgering them with too much attention, nor dashing frazzled hither or thither, making them feel like terrible burdens. Mealtime guests. When to arrive. This varies so much according to locality that it is impossible to make a hard and fast rule. In general, it is safe to say that one should never arrive early. These days, everybody arrives like 2 hours late to any kind of event or party, right? I mean, if you show up early, you're basically the only one there. And if you show up even, let's say it's an 8 o'clock event, if you show up at that time, you still might be the only one there. And if you show up like an hour later, hopefully two or three more people might be there. But if you show up like at 10, hopefully everybody who was invited will be there. Isn't that the way it is these days? Me, I don't know about you, but I still like being on time. Only because if I'm on time, then I'll be able to leave when I want, and not when the party is supposedly supposed to end, which we never know. These days, parties can linger until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Believe me, for me, parties have just gotten out of hand, and that's how come I think when you set a party, and I have to admit, when it comes to Latin cultures, like my mom, for instance, she used to throw parties. And it was like, it would go on almost like into the next day. It's like, oh my God, like when is this gonna end? It would go into 1 o'clock in the morning, and we'd be like, almost like, we couldn't even sleep because the music was still going on. And for me, I think in this day and era, we should always be mindful of our guests and mindful of our children, our families. They don't want to hear the blurring and everything going on when they have to get up in the morning to go to work or whatever, or just to relax for the weekend. We should be mindful of that. Like, set a time. The party starts at 8 or at 7, whatever, and it ends at 11. That's it. Out the door you go. It was nice seeing you. It was nice chatting with you. Who basically really chats anymore unless they're chatting like me right now? Because if you're chatting with somebody, that you haven't seen for a long time, then the hours will go by fast because you're reminiscing. You're talking about things that have happened from the time you guys have been like haven't seen each other. You talk about what's been going on, and hours can pass. But if you see each other all the time, then you basically don't know what to talk about, and that could be kind of like the time will go on so long because you like, even when you have exhausted your chat or exhausted everything you want to talk, you were planning to talk about or did talk about, Now you're silent because you don't know what else to say. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for the guest. It's uncomfortable for the host. And all you could do is, oh, can I offer you another cup of coffee? Or, oh, can I offer you another cup of tea? Or can I get you something else to drink? And it's just lingering. Instead of just saying, you know what, let's just call it a night. We're done, And that's what you're trying to avoid. Better to end it with a cheerful smile. It was so glad having you here. I really enjoyed the day, the night with you, or whatever, and everybody leaves happy. But when you have to linger and stretch that hour, it's like, oh my God, it'd be daunting. You're like, I can't wait for them to leave. Like, I had enough, But so, for me, it would be better for you to set a time for start and a time to finish. This way, everybody goes home early, whatever. They have time to undress, unwind before they go to bed, and so does your family. Okay, so well, that's the way I think. I mean, I don't know. I think it was the parties that my mom used to throw. They used to drive me up a wall. Anyway, in general, it is safe to say that one should never arrive early. You are almost sure to embarrass your host and hostess. What to wear, I'm not going to really go into that. They do talk about cocktails at 7, dinner at 8:30, which more or less. I'll read more about that, but I was thinking more for those who don't eat meat, dinner conversation. Dinner conversation would be a good one to read about that. I'll keep that in mind. No matter how much you want to help or keep your hostess company, don't follow her to the kitchen and chatter away while she is making her last-minute preparations. Now, I understand that because usually when a hostess is trying to, I don't know, but back in the day, we didn't have all this, like in the 1800s or early 1900s. We didn't have what we have now. We didn't have all this technology and everything that that we're using in this day and age. But knowing that, because I often feel because of all these generations that have passed, and I will say even in the 1940s, okay, even in the 1950s, but I'm trying to go a little bit more back, early 1900s. When people used to have all the things, and they used to go to what they would call circles, crafting circles, or guilds. I think they were called guilds back then, circle guilds or guild circles. Anyway, some would be reading, some would be for doing a quilting, and there were guilds. I had to look up that word, but it was just a form of how men used to get together drinking, talk about their jobs and their business and cigars and their whatever rum or whatever they were drinking in that day, and they would share all their expertise on everything of what they were doing in that period of time, all the engineering, all the new advances of so-called their technology in that day. But when it came to women, we always liked the frills, the frills and all that stuff. So we would do the crocheting, the quilting, the reading guild, and people would go, and I don't know if you ever saw what was her name, the redhead, Anna Avonlea. And you know how they used to have their houses, and they used to dress everything up, and making their hand sewing everything. And how would they show all that off? I mean, they didn't have really cameras in that day neither. It wasn't really invented yet, so they couldn't really take pictures. They would draw. If you were lucky enough to have somebody who would draw those kind of portraits back in the day, you were lucky. But you had to have like a mental setting in your head and remember what you saw. I do that now when I go to craft shows. When I go to craft shows, because some people, they don't like you taking pictures. I'm not trying to stray away from what I'm trying to talk about. They don't like you taking pictures because they think that you're trying to steal their idea. And if they do let you take pictures, they charge. I don't know if they start charging you, but you know, it would be nice. I'll give you 50 cents if you let me take a picture. You know, offer it. You know, offer it. They might say yeah. So don't charge more than that. That's just an idea. But a lot of people don't like you taking pictures of their crafts. So you had to have a mental, you know, in your head, go and try to remember what you saw. And there was one time that I go, wow, that is really cool. And I had to keep remembering it and keep remembering it until, you know, I was able to get a pen and pencil and draw it out. But back in the day, you know, we didn't have this. And now we can just watch anything on YouTube or whatever. But again, back in the day, you had to take a mental note of everything that you saw in this elegant 18 or early 1900 home. And or you would talk about it. Oh, how did you do this stitch? Or how did you do that stitch? She wasn't going to take the time out to show you because she's busy hosting. So everything that you would see, everything that was being presented is kind of like inviting people to be like the showroom so they can see everything that you have in your house. And that's what it would be like. And it's not too far from what you see on YouTube now. Except back in the day, you had to invite people over to see it. Now, we can just go into anybody's home and watch it on a screen, which is very, very fascinating. I might have to, I'm thinking of cutting or taking this off because I'm having a little bit, I'm being annoyed with it having to lift everything over. I don't think I could do it now, but as a matter of fact, I think I could. This is crazy, right? But I think what I'm going to do, I think it will come off actually. I think if I keep playing with it, it'll eventually come off. I think there's a screw here too. Oh, there is a screw there. I'll take it off. And yeah, so that's how I feel about it today. I mean, if and when you're trying to show anything in your home, like back in the day, you really had to go out of your way. And it's true when you're hosting because you're busy, you know, getting everything ready. You're busy bringing things down. You're busy decorating. And even when they had their craft fairs, or when they had their I forgot what they were called, but it would almost like be like a carnival. Yeah, it would be a carnival fair, right? And or a rummage sale or whatever. You know, you really had to take that time out to set everything up. But even if you had a garden party, the same way. You know, you'll invite everybody. Can you imagine wearing those long dresses with the umbrella and the hats and everything? I'm like, wow. I was gonna put a different shirt on, but I was like, I am in a hurry. And I didn't want to disappoint you guys today. So I was like, you know what? It's a nice day. It's sunny. Let me just hurry up and do this because I have to get back in. I have to, because it is the last week of, what do you call it, school for the kids. And I'm trying to put together some teacher appreciation gifts for the teachers. I think I have about 4 of them, and I think I just have enough bags for all of them, so I have to go inside, get everything ready. I have so many little things I could just throw in and just wrap it up and I'll probably end up buying some candy and things like that, and just, I have collected so many little knickknacks and gifts throughout the year. And that's another thing too. Sometimes I did that one year. I would be collecting stuff like all over the place. Let me show you what I got from across the street, because I think I did mention that I showed that we have this. You can go to my channel on my daily living vlog, and I show you what the free tree is. So anyway, I ended up getting this faux fur, and I got it from there, and I said, oh my God, this is gonna be so perfect. I think it went to a hoodie or to a coat, but I can use it for one of my dolls, so I really did like that. And then I got this one as well. This can be like to the bottom of a dress or whatever. So this is another cool print that I can use. And then I also got this dress, I think it was like a dress or whatever, and I thought it was gonna fit me, but it didn't. So I was kind of disappointed. I think it was like way too tight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take off the buttons for sure. I'm gonna probably be like the button lady in that can. You know, that cookie can and the Danskin can. But I think I'm gonna cut this up and use it as a cover for journals. So I think that would look cute as an antique. It's not a new print, so I could tell it's kind of like an old print. And old prints are good. Like I said, it all depends what you're doing. Like I mentioned before, you cannot mix old prints with new prints because it just doesn't work. The same way with cards. So, okay, so let me these cookies right here, I don't know, I don't know what they're like butter cookies, and these, the white ones, they have that cinnamon taste to it. They're so good. They're so good. Definitely don't want to drop that cup. Okay guys, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope if you're into hosting, I really think people should really get back into that. I would love to host, but yeah, I would have to really think about that one. Have a lot of chairs out here and everything. I think I'm almost choking on that cookie. Anyway, I'll think about it. We'll see what happens. Or maybe I'll just host with my dolls instead. It'll be a lot more easier. Okay, guys. So, like a fish in the sea, so glad you caught me. And thank you so much for joining me again. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'm hopefully, maybe next Tuesday, I'll be able to wear the blouse that I made. It came out nice. I just have to trim it down a little bit more because it did come out a little bit too wide on the sides. But you know, I'm learning. Okay guys, so that's it for today. I'm gonna try to get off this chair. And we will see you next time on Tea Time Tuesday.